Hey, so you're busy people. I won't waste your time. I wanted to build this giant oil rig on Jupiter, as you do. I'm a really miserable person generally. If I haven't got anything to do, I'm kind of just like moping around, drifting from one interpersonal crisis to the next. But as soon as I have an idea, I am the happiest person in the world. And this is one of those times when I had the idea and I just ran down the street. I was like, I know what I want to do. I know how to do it. Sometimes in projects you have to cast around for days and days trying to find the idea. Like you'll have a basic idea, but it just literally does take a bunch of making mistakes, like hours and hours of mistakes being made before you, get the design well tuned. Often you'll think it's finished and then be like, man, there's something bugging me about it. What's wrong with it? And you'll resist and resist because you know it's like a huge amount of extra work to change everything. But then you're like, fuck this. What is making me feel so sick? And you'll figure out that it's the perspective being wrong on one of the bits, or the design's not being as cool as it could be, and that's normal. I find with some projects though, you just see it in your mind's eye, and you're like, yes, I've got it. So I was reading a book called Anvil of Stars, and in it, the Earth has been destroyed by von Neumann probes sent by some long extinct alien culture, and the human race has sent a tiny band of its best and brightest children on a mission, a long one-way mission to find the home of the killer alien probes and destroy it, as enacting the law. And one of the kind of the alien worlds that was described was this in this heavily modified solar system that they find is a gas giant that's being mined for volatiles. Volatiles are the kind of light gases that make up the outer solar system and are great for making fuel for rockets and all the other stuff that you need to make a spacefaring civilization. So that's what they do. They run through this solar system, and one of the planets is this one that's being stirred. And I love the idea that this giant structure is stirring the atmosphere of the gas giant. When you put your finger into a flowing fluid, you get this what's called a vortex street, a von Karman vortex street, where the vortex forms in a low pressure area behind the structure that's interfering with the flow, and it wibbles and wobbles back and forth in this cyclical. Like one side will get high pressure, create a vortex. The vortex will leave the disturbance, and then it'll flip back the other way, and you get this oscillation. And I think that's a fantastic way of describing time in a still image, because you can see that this has been going on for a while, and these storms are being churned up by this object, which even though it's very thin, is clearly very strong. There's no way you could make something out of this like this from normal matter, so it's some kind of energy supported structure. Maybe there's some kind of energy field between these cat head things, and I thought maybe that the mass is getting pulled up this what is effectively the drill string, that the pipe that goes down into the oil well in an oil rig, and the pipe is made of some kind of energy field, as hinted at by this distorted refraction. Um, so, yeah, and the landscape is being printed out by these things, 3D printed out. And I just thought, why would you have coastline like this? Well, if I was living on a space station, I wouldn't want to live in some metal box. I'd want to live on like a coastal fishing village or something. So that's what they were doing. They were just creating the habitats that they wanted to live on. So how would you do it? First thing, ran home. Full of beans and sketched it out. I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of know what I want it to be. I want it to be like a giant space elevator, 1,000 times as large as normal, going down into the atmosphere of Jupiter with these great vortexes coming off the back. Fantastic. No casting around for an idea. I just knew what I wanted to do and just got on with it. Did a painting. I thought, yeah, that kind of works, but you're not as involved in the image as you could be because you're above it. So you have these structures, kind of alien. What the hell is this thing? Who knows? But you're not as involved as you could be because you can see the whole structure in the image. So build a 3D model. This is my next step always. I love building these simple 3D models. They take 5 minutes. You can really move the camera around and find cool angles. If I've drawn this by hand, I've drawn all of these little guys, and it would have just taken me hours, and I don't want to change it, whereas 3D you can change it in 2 seconds, so it's awesome. Grabbed a bit of Jupiter on a texture just to give it some tooth to work from, rendered this out and put it into Photoshop, and just painted it and painted it and painted it. Once you're in there, you can start adding new ideas. Like I thought, let's put the ship here, and then let's put this ship in front of it, and put that in front of that, and blah blah. And you can see it. There's a painting by Dali where there's like a tiger jumping out of another tiger's mouth, which is jumping out of a fish's mouth, and in front of the tiger there's a rifle with a bayonet that's just about to penetrate this floating woman. It's an amazing painting. I really love it, and it gives you this feeling of depth because each thing is in front of the one behind. So that's exactly what I did. Painted and painted and painted, and tried to imagine what it'd be like to live there. You'd want, like, ports coming off the side, maybe jetties for your space yacht. Maybe this is like largely a ghost town now, and there's lots of space to live on. Maybe it was built during the hydrogen rush of '63, and now it's fallen into, not disrepair exactly, but it's certainly less populous than it was. Who knows? You can start imagining this stuff. A big shadow of a moon, to show that that this is a gas giant and that there are moons still there and it's casting a shadow. I saw that in some amazing Cassini image of Saturn. I think one of the big moons is casting a shadow, and it also gives you a nice opportunity to give you this sort of blue against dark brown, which is just a nice poppy kind of. Craig Mullins always does this. He always finds opportunities to put one colour against another in a nice combo to make the image pop. I think that's it. Here's the final. I usually make a few finals just because this one I prefer the orange, but I didn't think it was quite as interesting a composition as when you've got it like vertical like this. It's more strange. So I tend to end up with like 2 or 3 different ones at the end, just because I hate to choose, and think, well, they're mine. They cost me nothing to make, so might as well have 5 instead of just 1. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. Yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.